So I give you some context for these stories I'm going to give you. This is accounting back in the day. I think this happened like 2007, 8 time frame. Don't quote me on the time, but I was taught this in 2016, 2017 was I was getting my associates in accounting, and my advisor was telling us he taught most of my accounting courses. He had a master's in accounting, master's in business. Pretty smart guy. He had his opinions about a lot of things, but everyone can have their opinions. Anyway, be really cool to get his job. He retired a couple years ago, and I applied to the school, so I don't know. Maybe one day they might actually call me back and say, "Yeah, you can work here." Anyway, that being said, I'll give you a couple scandals. Years ago in Sumter County, which is the next county over, my wife's from that county. The school board was in cahoots with a few people in the government circle, state level people. And what they would do is they would steal $3,000 to $6,000 at a time over the course of years, 5, 6, 7 years. I don't know how long it was. It ended up being like a couple $1,000,000, and it just went missing. Right? Went missing. Anyway, what they did is they was really smart with it. Is they would buy every now and then just randomly big ticket items, and they would on paper. So they would buy a refrigerator, or they would buy a new computer, or whatever bullshit was. And if they really bought one, we bought one, but they would write down they bought 4 or 5 of them. And they would do that consistently. And people were like, well, how do they not get caught for so long? Well, they had someone else. And this is the thing about auditing the government. We currently have a system where the government audits me and you, right? The government can come to me, because I own a small business especially, and audit all my information. And if they say that I didn't pay enough taxes, I can be arrested and go to fucking jail. But the government gets audited by other government people, right? So they're friends. So they had friends that worked, one friend in particular that worked on the auditing team, and just, didn't say nothing because he got a cut. So anyway, they had it perfect. They had it perfect. Well, the crazy thing, and this is what I was told, and from a few teachers in 2016, 17 time frame, and this was funny as hell, is the guy that was a part of it got sick, got the flu or something, was completely not able to go and audit the school district when it was time to audit. So they grabbed someone that was brand new to the team, and he, fresh out of college, probably a bachelor's in accounting or finance, or, some kind of statistic class. And so he went and audited. He didn't know what to do. And according to the teacher that told me this, is he just grabbed, to make him look busy, he just grabbed some of the receipts and started going through some of the receipts. Well, when he started going through the receipts, he started seeing these addresses popping up that made no sense, because he's from around here. So he found out through investigation, I don't know how long it took, a day, 2 days, a month, I don't know, that they had mailboxes set up in different spots where the checks would be mailed to these places, and then someone would go pick up the checks and then go cash them at like a 7-Eleven or a Western Union or whatever bullshit, and the money would just disappear after that, and it was cash. It was cashed by this company, but it was completely fake. So they had it completely, and it's like crazy to think like someone could actually do that. So they all got caught. It was like a couple $1,000,000 missing. I think 6 or 7 people got fired. The auditing team was redone. Like a lot of shit. And then not that long later, someone tried it again in a different county, something similar to it. And it was like, holy shit. And literally about a year ago in this county, Clarendon County, there were $600,000 missing, approximately $600,000. And don't quote me from the numbers. Missing over the past couple years. And the one lady that she ran for state house, Congress, state house of representatives, this district. She actually audited them and got 6 or 7 people fired. And then currently right now, and I applied to the job just for fun, the director of finance of the county and a couple other directors of finance for the school board have decided to retire this year. Wonder why. All of a sudden, all these people are retiring. So if you look on Clarendon County, there is a lot of teaching positions, and especially a lot of staff member in the district that are going to be vacant very soon because they are retiring by choice or being forced to retire. Wonder why? Because maybe 600,000 reasons, if not more, and that's only what we know of. So I thought that was pretty interesting. The last story I have for you, which happened a couple years ago, it actually hit, I think it hit the national news. WIS, which is NBC for down here, had it reporting every night for like 3 weeks. I mean, they was talking about it. It was an interesting thing. So what happened was there was a fire. It was just a fire. It was breaking news. There was a fire at this apartment complex, and it's in the kind of the bad area of Lexington, Columbia area, the capital of the state. So a lot of 99% people are black up there, and it was a fire. So had all these fire department. They reported it. Oh, it's a fire. We're gonna stay out today. Well, I think one person died, maybe 2 people died from the fire, and it was mainly carbon dioxide leaking. And don't quote me on everything I'm saying about the leak, but I do know for a fact the smoke detectors didn't work, carbon detectors didn't work, and these properties was government funded, low income government housing. So anyway, because people died in these houses, the chief of the fire department, fire marshals had to investigate. I think SLED probably joined in just because they had nothing else to do other than fuck with people. Investigated this. Well, about 6 to 8 months before all this, they actually did an inspection on all these government houses because they have to, and they was told that all these things need to be updated, and these was violating, city code, safety codes, and especially since it was government funded, it needs to be fixed, and none of it got fixed. So WIS actually started investigating. Independent journalists, that co-worked with them, I guess, started investigating, and as soon as they started doing that, the whole board, not just 1 or 2, the whole board of people that was directly over, so it was, you imagine a board of people being 12, there was 4 or 5 of them that are directly over these projects, resigned within a week. The first one was the head person resigned. Second person, third person, there was a little bit over $3 million missing, gone. Still to this day, we don't know. No one's been arrested. I think 5 or 6 people resigned within the first couple weeks, quit their jobs, and disappeared. Never commented, never did an interview, never answered any public questions. And all this money's missing. Some of the people was black, some of the people was white. Just gone, whatever. We don't know where the money is. And here's the crazy thing. Those places was deemed unlivable after that. So taxpayers of South Carolina had to flip the bill for these families, these 50, 60 families, to live in an apartment or live in fucking motels. And then they had to find new apartments for them. And it was like, holy shit. And like I was doing bachelor's at the time or something like that. I was 2018, 19, something like that. I think 2019. And I was watching it all the time. Like every day it came on, I was looking at it, watching it, because it was just fascinating how much money was missing. To my knowledge, no one's ever been arrested for any of that. And it's like, where'd the money go? It's in the Bahamas. That dude that was the leader had most of the money, and they was in cahoots, because who's gonna check these places? Well, when a fire happens and people die, they have to check them. You didn't count on that, I guess. So you didn't use common sense. You've been told multiple times this is not safe, this is gonna happen, and you didn't even if you fixed it just minimum, just fixed it a little bit, you could still kept 90% of that money and still been doing it to this day, and probably no one ever known. And here's the crazy part of this whole thing is that's the people that's been caught because they're not arrested or in jail or anything. My thing is, how many counties are still doing this shit to this day? School boards, little government offices that control apartment buildings and stuff like that, hospitals, public hospitals, public fast ERs, little colleges. How much of that shit's going on that we haven't even known about? It's crazy that the taxpayers pay for. And we get screwed 3 times. We get screwed already for paying for it. Then we get screwed 3 or 4 more times when they fuck up and they steal the money. And then now the government's $3 million short, right? For sake of argument, $3 million short. We have to pay. We have to flip that bill because that money has to be put back in the account to pay for whatever. Now those houses are deemed unfit. Now those people stay in a motel, which is, for sake of argument, $50 a night for the cheap shit motel. We have to pay for that. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Crazy.